Right now, somewhere in your wallet, your phone, or your email, there is a small promise. An insurance card, a policy number, a health app with your name on it. A document that says if something goes wrong, someone will help pay. You may barely think about it. You only notice it when the body fails, the car breaks, the bill arrives, or the future suddenly becomes expensive. It feels modern, but the fear underneath it is ancient. For most of human history, there was no insurance office, no claim form, no hospital billing department, no customer service line, no app that could tell you whether a doctor was covered. If a hunt failed, there was no payout. If a leg broke, there was no disability check. If a child grew weak during a hungry season, no institution arrived with paperwork and protection. There was only the group. And in that world, the real question was not who pays, it was who shares. Imagine waking before sunrise in a small camp, with smoke low over the ground and cold in your fingers. Somewhere beyond the trees, animals are moving. Somewhere in the dark, another group may be hungry too. You do not know if today will bring meat, roots, honey, rain, sickness, injury, or nothing at all. There is no guarantee. No stored supermarket aisle. No sealed package waiting behind a door. No money to convert tomorrow's danger into a monthly payment. Your safety is not inside a system. It is in the memories of other people. Who did you help last week? Who saw you share? Who trusts your name when food becomes scarce? So what did ancient humans do before insurance existed? The answer is not simply that they survived without it. The answer is that long before modern institutions turned risk into contracts, human beings were already building living safety nets out of food, memory, reputation, obligation, and trust. Their protection was not written down. It was remembered. Most people imagine ancient humans as isolated survivors, each family trying to fight hunger alone. A man with a spear, a woman gathering in silence, a few children crouched by a fire. Life as a brutal contest of strength, luck, and instinct. But hunter-gatherer studies tell a more complicated story. Ancient life was dangerous, yes. But the solution to danger was often not individual toughness. It was social intelligence. It was knowing that one person could not control the hunt, the weather, illness, childbirth, old age, or the strange cruelty of chance. Nobody was strong enough to be its own insurance. In many hunter-gatherer societies studied by anthropologists, food sharing sits at the center of social and economic life. Researchers such as Michael Gervin and Adrian Yagi have described food sharing not as a decorative act of kindness, but as one of the deep structures of human cooperation. Meat, especially from large game, was often distributed beyond the person who acquired it. That detail matters, because a large animal is never just dinner. It is a dangerous surplus. One hunter cannot eat it all before it spoils. One household cannot always defend the moral meaning of keeping it. Around the fire, meat becomes more than calories. It becomes information. Everyone watches who receives, who gives, who hesitates, who acts generous when others are hungry. A strip of meat can become a claim on the future. Not a legal claim, a human one. This is where the ancient safety net begins to appear. If you succeed today and share, you do not erase risk. You move risk around the group. You turn a private victory into a public memory. And later, when your own luck collapses, that memory can come back to you in the form of another person's hand. It sounds simple. It is not. Because hunting is uncertain in a way modern shopping has trained us to forget, you go to a grocery store and expect the shelves to answer you. You open a delivery app and expect food to move toward you. But for foragers, especially when hunting large animals, success could be uneven. Some days brought abundance. Other days brought empty hands, sore feet, and silence. Studies of groups such as the Ache of Paraguay and the Hadza of Tanzania have often been used to understand how sharing can reduce the shock of this uncertainty. The exact rules differ between societies, and no modern foraging group should be treated as a perfect copy of Paleolithic life. But the pattern is revealing. When returns are unpredictable, sharing can make hunger less individual. One person's luck can feed many. Many people's luck can protect one. Picture a hunter returning late. Not triumphant, but exhausted. His body smells of sweat, grass, and distance. He has nothing. His children still need food. His failure is visible. There is no way to hide it from the camp. In a purely individual world, that failure would become immediate danger. But in a sharing world, The day's bad luck does not have to become a family's disaster. Someone else's success can cross the firelight. A portion moves from one household to another. Hunger is not eliminated, but it is softened by relationship. That is the quiet genius of it. The system did not make life safe. It made danger less lonely. Modern insurance works by pooling risk across strangers. Many people pay into a system so that the unlucky few can be helped when something breaks. Ancient sharing worked through a different architecture, but the emotional problem was similar. Nobody knew who tomorrow would wound, so people built expectations around today's surplus. But there was another layer, wider than the camp. Among the Juhawansi, often associated in older literature with the Kumsan of southern Africa, anthropologist Polly Weissner documented hxaro, a system of long-distance gift exchange and social ties. Hxaro was not a simple barter market. It involved relationships maintained over time, often across distance, through gifts, visits, obligation, memory, and mutual recognition. One interpretation of hxaro is that it helped reduce risk in a harsh and variable environment. When local conditions became difficult, social ties beyond one camp could matter. A person was not protected only by the people sitting nearest the fire. They could be connected to a wider human map. Imagine that map without paper. No roads marked in blue. No phone contacts. No emergency fund. Just names carried in the mind. A bead. A tool. A gift given months ago. A visit remembered. A person in another place who knows you are not a stranger. That is not primitive. That is infrastructure made of trust. And it tells us something easy to miss. Ancient humans were not only solving hunger, they were solving uncertainty. They were building ways for the future to have more than one door. If this camp became dangerous, if this season failed, if sickness or conflict pushed people away, the world was not only the horizon in front of them, it was the relationships they had maintained beyond it. Modern insurance asks, "Are you covered?" Ancient reciprocity asked, "Who knows you?" But a system like this only works if people remember. That is where reputation enters the story. Sharing is not just food moving from hand to hand. It is also judgment moving through the group. Humans are extremely sensitive to fairness, betrayal, generosity, debt, and refusal. We notice who gives when watched, who gives when it costs, who takes too often, who disappears when others need help. Anthropological work on cooperation and norm enforcement suggests that small-scale societies often rely on social pressure, teasing, criticism, gossip, praise, and reputation to keep behavior within expected limits. Again, the details vary, but the principle is deeply human. If there is no court, no contract, no insurance investigator, then the community itself becomes the archive. The group remembers. Not perfectly, not always kindly, not without conflict, but it remembers enough for trust to have consequences. A person who shares may become safer not because everyone is noble, but because everyone is watching. A person who refuses too often may still eat today, but may weaken the invisible net that could catch them tomorrow. In that sense, reputation was not vanity. It was survival information. Your name could feed you. Your name could isolate you. This is why ancient risk management was emotional as much as practical. Hunger enters the stomach, but risk enters the nervous system. To live without modern guarantees is to live inside constant uncertainty. Will there be food? Will the wound heal? Will the old be carried? Will the sick be abandoned? Will a failed hunt become shame? Or will someone hand your child a piece of meat? The human body is built to read those answers. You feel safety not only when there is food in front of you, but when you believe others will not let you vanish. Trust lowers the emotional temperature of danger. Reciprocity gives the future a shape. Fairness tells the group that pain will not be distributed randomly forever. Shame and praise may feel small, but in a world without written contracts, they are part of the machinery that keeps cooperation alive. This is not to romanticize ancient life. A hungry camp is still hungry. A broken bone is still terrifying. A sick child is still a wound in the center of everyone. Sharing systems can fail. People can be selfish, exhausted, afraid, resentful. Ancient humans were not saints living in perfect harmony. They were human beings under pressure. But that is exactly what makes the story powerful. They did not solve risk by pretending danger was not real. They solved it by refusing to make every danger private. Modern life has given us extraordinary protection. Hospitals, emergency surgery, vaccines, food storage, disability systems. Fire departments. Insurance pools that can spread costs across millions of people who will never meet. These are not small achievements. They save lives that ancient people could not always save, but they also changed the emotional shape of protection. Today, when disaster comes, you may call a company before you call a neighbor. You may upload a receipt before anyone touches your shoulder. You may wait on hold while a recorded voice tells you your claim matters. Your suffering enters a system, and the system may help you, but it may not know you. That is the strange loneliness inside modern security. We are more protected than our ancestors in countless measurable ways. Yet many people feel less held. The institution can pay. The institution can approve. The institution can deny. The institution can calculate risk with more precision than any small band around a fire. But it cannot remember the day you shared meat. It cannot feel shame for abandoning you. It cannot say, you belong to us. This is the deep twist. Ancient humans did not lack insurance because they were too primitive to invent systems. They had a different kind of system. Not paperwork, but people. Not policy numbers, but remembered obligations. Not coverage for the isolated individual after disaster, but a social world that tried to stop disaster from becoming individual in the first place. The ancient safety net was fragile, but it was intimate. Modern insurance is powerful, but it is distant. And somewhere between those two facts is the uneasiness of modern life, because the ancient problem never disappeared. The body still fears abandonment. The nervous system still asks who will come when you fall. The mind still scans for fairness, loyalty, generosity, and betrayal. Even now, surrounded by institutions, you still want more than coverage. You want the feeling that someone has noticed your danger and will not let you carry it alone. That need is older than money, older than law, older than the word insurance. Go back to the card in your wallet, or the app on your phone, or the policy number buried in your email. It is not meaningless. It is a remarkable modern shield against costs that could destroy a life. It represents a world that can organize help at a scale our ancestors could not imagine. But look at it differently now. It protects you without knowing your face. It can process your claim, but it cannot sit beside your fire. It can reimburse a disaster, but it cannot fully answer the oldest human question beneath disaster. Who will share? Who will remember? Who will come? Maybe modern life did not solve risk as completely as we think. Maybe it moved risk into forms we could price, file, and manage, while leaving part of the ancient need untouched. The need to belong to people who would notice the empty hands. The need to be held inside a memory larger than yourself. The technology changed. The fear did not. And somewhere under the plastic card, the password, the policy number, and the claim form, your ancient body is still asking the same question it asked by the fire. If I fall, who will carry me?